We will take you back out to Houston in a moment. So Morocco, your first quarterfinalist at this summer's World Cup. And they will head to Boston on Thursday to take on the winner of our second match today between Paraguay and France. Happy 4th of July to you. Welcome to Philadelphia. Morocco now just 3 wins away from lifting that trophy. Glad you're with us here in the great city of Philadelphia. American soccer legends, Alexi Lawless, Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey. I'm Rob Stone back here with you. Let's go back to Houston right now as Morocco gets to the quarterfinals for the second straight World Cup, becoming the first African nation to accomplish that feat. Landon, 0-0 after 45 minutes. It was a lackluster opening 45 minutes for the Atlas Lions. What changed in the second half for them?
It reminded me so much of France's first game against Senegal. France were really poor in that first half. Senegal had 2 big chances, hit the post, and a big chance by Ismaila Sarr at the end of the half. Didn't score, just like Canada had some big chances, didn't score. And then in that second half, France turned on the style. Morocco today just made the chances. They had some chances, Clint, not a lot, but when they came, bang, in the back of the net.
Sure, I mean, I was impressed with the free kick that they did, the stuff from the training ground where you rush everybody towards the goal, you cut it back on top of the box. And when you score those type of goals, it's really deflating. And then it first forced Canada to try to come out, to get countered. They got picked apart a little bit, and it was too much of a mountain to climb once they went down 2-0.
Canada's going to look back at this and rue some of the chances that they missed and the opportunities that they had, because they had Morocco on the ropes in that first half. But Morocco is a very good team, and that doesn't last very long. And certainly with a break at halftime to reset, to recognize, hey, that is not good enough, they came out with a new sense of what they needed to do. And you know, if you are Canada right now, there will be a post-mortem. I think Jesse Marsh and company are going to celebrate what they did here, but I also think at a certain point they're gonna look back and look at this as the one that got away, just because not just the chances, but the clear-cut chances that they created that they couldn't finish.
And to your point, they dominated the first half.
Yep.
Bizarrely, I don't know what's going on. There's something going on with Alphonso Davies. He played in the last game. About 75th minute he came in, which means Jesse Marsh knew he could go at least 45. And then he didn't play today when they needed him. So there's either something going on between the two of them. He's still hurt. Something that, I mean, hopefully they'll address after the game. Very bizarre that he didn't get on the field.
Could have been a setback for sure, but
yeah, maybe.
Jesse had been teasing us all tournament long. Alfonso, he's getting closer. He's getting closer. You're probably going to see him. We don't see him. So
and
just
it's a shame, Rob, because
I feel awful for Alfonso.
I mean, at one point he was the best left back in the world.
Yes,
he really was.
Still maybe
so
if he's healthy.
Yeah, it's really sad that he couldn't be a part of this tournament.
And not just a part of the World Cup, but a World Cup in his home country.
Yeah, that's right.
And there is the Canadian team acknowledging their fans that made the travels down to Houston.
You know, the other part of this is teams that go far in the tournament, they have bad days, but they find a way to win. Argentina yesterday.
This is interesting. Jesse Marsh now pushing away the cameras.
Yeah, now he doesn't want the camera.
Reminded them in
last
time.
Teams that are going to go far have to have wins on days where they don't perform well.
See, Argentina,
they got through it. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And also Morocco, they lost Sabari early.
22nd minute, Sabari out.
The other player comes on and gets the 3rd goal. So that's what you need. You're going to have to go through adversity. It's how you deal with that. They didn't have the best first half, but they came back out in the second half and took advantage of the chances that they needed to put this game away.
So now the Atlas Lions running towards the core of their fan base there inside Houston Stadium.
You talked about earlier, the 17s, 20s, the 23s, and now the full team. This is not an accident in any way.
And the first African country go back-to-back, get into quarterfinals in a row.
Incredible, man. And they are here to stay. A lot of young players at 9. Lots of young players coming through. This is going to be for a long time.
Well, that man's here to stay too, because they extended his contract. They're going to continue on with him. I certainly think that the Canadian Soccer Federation will look at it as a success.
You look at do you look at as a success? Round of 16 is not an awful thing.
Had never won a game at a World Cup. Getting out of the group, had never done that. So yeah, there is history in what Jesse Marsch did with this team, but I think there will be an element of leaving something on the table. Again, the pathways are so important in World Cups. Had the pathway continued on through Canada, maybe would that have changed things? Maybe not.
But Lex, they did what they were supposed to do. They got a point from Bosnia. They should have won the game and beat Qatar. And then they lost to the teams that were a little better than them. So it was kind of just, it was, par. It was, it was a B.
Plenty more to dissect on this one. Time now, though, for Power Downers Casablanca. There's going to be some enjoyment in downtown Casablanca tonight. 7:45 p.m., the scene of those reactions. But we come back here to Philadelphia, which is also the site of our next match. Independence Hall right behind us, a perfect setting for this, America's 250th birthday celebration. Great crowd has been out here all morning and afternoon long here in Philadelphia. The World Cup trophy right there by my hip. Rob Stone, Clint Dempsey, Landon Donovan, Alexi Lawless here with you. No African nation has grown more on the international soccer front than Morocco over the last decade. Success on the female side, the youth level. Of course, the breakthrough 4 years ago in Qatar, and now, at least, at a minimum, it's another quarterfinal run for Morocco. American Jesse Marsch, the head coach of Canada, and it was all Canada in the first 45.
It was just a really poor half from Morocco, and Canada took advantage of opportunities, well, to an extent, in that they got these incredible opportunities. Alouache, wonderful turn here, bottom of his foot, can't get it out and up, but Jesse Marsch, a little frustrated, but they're getting chances. And even on the other side, Sabati, who's been so good this tournament, pulls something, and he's got to go out. He's distraught. That is a big loss for Morocco in that first half.
Something had to change, and after the half, Morocco were much better. You see the Moroccan players run across the near post, drag defenders. They leave Unahi wide open at the top of the box, and he gets his foot around it perfectly, smashes it inside that near post. Nothing Maxime Crepeau can do. He can't see the ball, and you see this just start outside the post, curl inside. Great finish.
With that strike, he became the 6th different Moroccan to score at this World Cup, so they are spreading the wealth.
Later on, Canada trying to push forward. Clint talked about this a lot behind the scenes too, that Canada were going to have to push forward. They did. They ultimately paid for it. This chance falls to Tejan Buchanan. Hits it from deep. Had Bono a little bit worried here, a little bit off his line. Was able to react and get down to his right and push it wide.
The thing that impressed me the most was how Morocco took advantage of the chances that they did create. And here, we talked about them having to come out of the game. Canada Morocco was able to pick them apart. Diaz with the assist, and Unahi with what a great finish. Puts it top bins. Diaz with the assist. And, it's difficult because you got to go chase the game, but you leave yourself open for moments like these. But Morocco was just so clinical when they got those chances, and they made Canada pay. I mean, look at this finish again. A little bit lucky with the deflection, but wraps his foot around it.
Pretty nice assist from Brahim Diaz as well. The cut and the feed, they weren't done. 8 minutes into stoppage time.
They weren't done, brother. Diaz was at it again. And he does a great job of just running at the defense, picking the moment when to make that pass. And then the player that came on for Sabahi with the finish, 3-0 up. Maybe not a true reflection of the scoreline to lose 3-0, but hey, Morocco did a great job of, coming out and performing better in the second half and taking advantage of the chances when they got it.
So Jesse Marsch and Canada, their stay at the World Cup is over. Here is Jesse after the loss.
And the movement you've created in Canada. What do you hope as the road to 2030 begins right now? What does tomorrow look like and the tomorrow now that Canada is a different nation?
What a privilege our fans have had to root a team on like this, that goes after the game, that doesn't play defensive, that shows that they can be better, right? Of course, we have to be in these situations more and more, and then we have to find ways to succeed, and then we have to build from that. But what a great team. I'd rather be us than them. As good as Morocco is, I'd rather be us, right? I'm really proud of our guys. We went after the game. They're hurting right now, but my goodness, I couldn't be prouder.
Canada thanks you, Jesse.
I thank Canada.
And Jesse was awfully proud of his Canadian team after that round of 32 victory, calling them Canadian heroes. Landon, let's just put a bow on Canada. Host country. First time they get a point, first time they get a win, first time they get to the knockout stage, and they get a knockout stage win, but it ends in the round of 16.
Did he just say he'd rather be Canada than Morocco? Wouldn't you rather be still in turn? I don't really understand
He's
that.
not coaching Morocco.
Okay. So here's the hard part when you're grading Canada. First time they won a game in a World Cup. First time they got out of their group. First time they won a knockout game. The reality is, though, Lex, we were talking about this. They were a seeded team in an expanded tournament. So they got easier opponents. They still had to win the games. They still had to win the knockout game. It is a massive success. But you have to temper it a little because they beat the teams they should have, and then they lost to two teams that were better than them. So they're getting better, and there is more to grow. There is more growth. And I think with Alphonso Davies, maybe this looks a little different. So ultimately a success, but you do have to take it in that context.
Yeah, well, Jesse. Look, I have a lot of time for Jesse. We all kind of grown up with Jesse and known him as a player. We've known him as a coach. I got a lot of respect for what he has done in terms of, taking a lot of the heat and taking a lot of the attention. I think strategically, in order to take it off of his players, he, drives some people crazy with the things that he says. I think that Canada deserves Jesse Marsch, and they can continue on with Jesse Marsch. Canada's going home. Morocco is going on. So I would rather be a team that won and is going on. I get the romantic notion that Jesse is talking about there, and they will continue to talk about him and this team for many years to come on what is going on. But, romance only gets you so far, and certainly when it comes to the U.S. team, if come Monday, the U.S. plays like crap but wins 3-0 and moves on,
yeah, we'll take it.
We will take it. America wants to win. America wants its soccer teams to win.
Clint, your final assessment of Canada through this World Cup.
Yeah, they did a good job. They got out of the group. They won a knockout stage game. They didn't take advantage of their chances today, but I like the way in which they played. They went forward. They didn't sit back. So respect to them for that. And it's about continue building and carrying on with that momentum that they've created, right? So, hats off to them. But, I'm thinking about the U.S. and looking forward to them playing against
Belgium.
Belgium.
So are these fans behind us, by the way. They were chanting, "We want Belgium," while we're trying to talk about Morocco and Canada. Yeah, we hear you guys. We hear everything you're saying, everything you're chanting here in Philadelphia. Time now for the Fox Moment of the Match.